Hey guys, TR Willie here with installment number 7 of TR's Mod Shop collection. Guitar number 7, this is one that I named Franky. That's short for Frankenstein. It was really one of the first from scratch guitars that I started working on. Got it around the same year as the poor man's Eric Clapton. I kind of worked on them at the same time. So that really kind of in terms of putting together Partcasters, those two guitars were sort of the genesis of that whole thing that I got into. Originally, this body came off of a Squier. I believe it was like an SE model. And so it was made out of, I believe it's agathis wood. It's got a full-size body. It's not thin, so that's really nice. And I mean, it's really been a good, solid guitar. There are some people that complain about, the tone wood and, all those stupid arguments that you hear online. The guitar sounds just fine. You can have in poor wood or poor tone wood, but honestly, if you set it up right and everything else is locked together, in many, many cases, you will have a fine sounding guitar. Some of my demos from other pickups on my site, the one guitar, there's a silver guitar that I had on a couple of demos. It's actually plywood, and it sounded great. I mean, the pickups, I had it set up well, so it sounded good. When I got it used from the same guy, I believe, that I bought the black Strat from, the wood was actually already gone here. That's not something I tried to take off myself. And a lot of times I'll try to cover it with, black Sharpie marker, and then it just wears back off. But I mean, I guess it goes with the relic thing. The original neck that I installed on this guitar was the neck off my 93 Plus Deluxe that we looked at earlier. I actually had the Andy Timmons harness, the pickups and pickguard. It was in this body for a number of years. And so when you look on my channel, you will see a lot of the Andy Timmons demos that I did of the pickup set were using this body, but with the maple neck and that pickup harness. Again, earlier last year, I got a bee in my bonnet and I swapped things around. And I took this neck. This is a 60s, like a 62 reissue model. This had been on the 93 Deluxe body for many, many years. And I basically just took the two necks and bodies and switched them. So now the original maple neck is back on Bertha. I put the 60s model on this guitar. And so this kind of captures the look of Stevie Ray's #1 guitar, but when he first got it, before it had the reverse tremolo, before, if you look at old pictures, it would look like this. It had the mint pickguard, and it was years later that he switched it to black, that he went and installed a left-handed tremolo. But when that guitar started its life, it kind of had this look to it. Also, Eric Johnson played a Sunburst rosewood Strat like this for a while, and it just kind of captures that classic three-tone Sunburst with the rosewood fretboard look. Vintage frets on it, so again, it's a little harder to play and it's also got a vintage radius, the 7 1/4 radius. But I don't really have any problems with it choking out. All my guitars have what I would call medium-low action. They're about a 1/16 of an inch off of the top of the fret, between the top of the fret and the bottom of the high E. And progressively, when you get to the low E, more like maybe 2 millimeters between the top of the fret and the bottom of the low E. So it's not super low that they're not kissing the frets, but at the same time, they're not so high that they're uncomfortable. And I can still play without it choking out. I got a Graphtec nut on there, vintage style tuners. I've also got the standard, for me, Callaham saddles. I've also got Callaham block in the back with the 4 springs. The pickups on this guitar are actually the Eric Johnson signature. A couple of videos ago, I had my candy apple red Eric Johnson signature body. Well, these are the pickups that were in that guitar originally. And again, it kind of goes with the Eric Johnson Sunburst Rosewood Strat that he played during his 2006 tour. And they just seem to, I had these great expensive pickups sitting in a box. So I put them in this guitar, and sure enough, they sounded great. In some ways, I thought they actually sounded better than they did in the original Eric Johnson signature. This one's got the standard 1/8 of an inch float, and again, the tuning's very stable. I don't do a lot of dive bombing, but just the standard, shaking the chords is what I typically do. Or if I have bend a really high note, I can still add vibrato with the bar. The wiring, I have, as with most of my other guitars, I have the bridge pickup wired to the bottom tone. I have the middle tone wired to the neck pickup, and then I have the middle pickup wide open with no tone control. And that's pretty standard for most of my Stratocasters. I do have one or two other ones that are a little different, and I'll cover those when I get to them. So I'll go ahead and demo this guitar now, let you hear what it sounds like, and thanks again for watching.